I've spent my entire life believing that if I just tried a little harder and got up a little earlier and acted a little nicer and smiled a little more and called home a little more and that I would be enough. So, I want you to all take a deep breath. We are not enough. All right, so read it with me. So to keep me from becoming proud, I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger from Satan to torment me and keep me from becoming proud. 3 different times I begged the Lord to take it away. Each time he said, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness." Okay, the next one is a continuation. So now I am glad to boast about my weaknesses so that the power of Christ can work through me. That's why I take pleasure in my weaknesses, in the insults, hardships, persecutions, and troubles that I suffer for Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Does that make any sense to you guys?
Yeah.
I have seen this verse. I've been in the Bible for a long time. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've heard the songs that say, when he is weak, when I'm weak, he is strong. And just lately in my life, God has really started to make this make sense to me. And it's because of this next verse. Because remember, I'm not enough. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm worried about it. I'm striving to be enough, but I am not enough. So I am not enough, but he is in us. He is in me, and he is enough, right? So I want y'all to really think about that. Soak it in your soul, because he's soaking it in my soul, but it wasn't making sense until I started learning Ephesians 3:16. So Ephesians 3:16 says, "I pray that from his glorious, unlimited resources, he will empower me with inner strength through his Spirit." So he's got glorious, unlimited resources. Heaven we're going to be perfect in heaven, right? We're going to be enough. It's not going to matter anymore if we measure up. We're all going to be equal. Well, but we have this inheritance that we get today, right? So this inheritance, this glorious, unlimited resources, those resources are ours. We have inherited them, and he will empower us with his Spirit. He will give us inner strength. So that's when this, I'm telling you, I just have started to exhale in my life, because I've been worried that I'm not enough. But finally, I'm figuring out who is enough. So, I'm telling you, it's been tough. Christ is in me, and he is enough, right? Is Christ in you? Christ is in you? So are you enough?
Yep.
Yes. He's in us to be enough. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but what? Power, love, and self-discipline. Some versions say sound mind. Who gives us fear?
Satan.
Satan. He is not our friend. He's not a friendly sort. And I'm telling you, all of those things in my mind about I am not enough, I can't measure up, I will never be enough, those were ideas, lies from the pit of hell that came to me in pretty little packages, or not so pretty little packages, and they have lived in here, spinning around, making little dances, and then between them, I'm trying to cover all those up by being smarter and working harder and being cuter and telling people that I'm great and worrying the whole time that they're going to shine the spotlight on me and figure out that I am not enough. You know what I'm talking about? I want you to imagine that you're at the banquet of your life. There's a head table, and there's 2 seats at the head table. So when we feel like we're not enough, who's sitting at the head table? Pride and fear. Can you see them? They're sitting there together. When one shows up, the other one's there. And they are from Satan. They're not from God. They're not from the unlimited power. They're not from the one who is able to do anything, from our Creator, the one who created us, the one who lives within us. They're not from Him. He has given us power, love, and self-discipline, a sound mind. Here's the thing. There's been some situations in my life that I've really needed His power and His love. There's sometimes when we think to ourselves, I am not enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not cute enough. And those little lies are spinning around. And then there's some things in life that come your way, and they're really out of your control. You are really not enough for that job loss, or that amount of money that you owe, or that death in your family, or that illness that you have. You are not enough. So we have to call on that Father in heaven, His power, His love, His sound mind to come in and do something about it, even though it doesn't make sense to the world. One of the best places to be is in desperate need of God, because when you're there, there's nobody else to look at. You don't have to look at who's not enough anymore. You're looking at who is enough, and you cry out to Him, and what happens? Somehow, some way, you get up and you keep going, and you get up and you keep going, and you get up and you keep going, and you look up, and when you've started applying His reality and His truth to your life, all of a sudden, the light is brighter, your day is better, your life may not be perfect, but it's better. You know, you're looking into the eyes of the one who loves you instead of looking in at the holes in your armor and the holes in your personality and your character. Say it with me. Now all glory to God, who is able, through His mighty power at work within us, to accomplish infinitely more than we might ask or think. God has accomplished infinitely more than I could ever ask or think in my life. And I'm going to be very real with you, because this is a very real topic. Our weaknesses, feeling like we're not enough, that's very real. And so He has asked us, Paul has told us in his word, to boast about our weaknesses. So that's what I'm about to do, and I'm going to challenge you to do the same thing. I've been married twice. I am married to the second husband. By the grace of God, I have been married for 12 years. I love my husband. He is the precious man in my life, and God has done immeasurably more, because in the first marriage, I saw a problem. I was not enough to fix it. I was sure that guy was not enough to fix it, and I tucked tail and I ran. I was a Christian. I knew God, but I didn't believe in His promises. I didn't know they applied to me. In this marriage, as my own weaknesses, as my own faults, the lies that I believed, all those pride and fear and all those things started to do this and make a mess and bump into His mess. I cried out to God and said, help me, Jesus. You have to help me, because I can't do this. I can't be divorced twice. So God actually used my pride to keep me married. He can use anything. So, help me, Jesus, turned into Jennifer not working, Jennifer having time to go to Bible study every week, Jennifer having time to do Bethmore Bible studies, Jennifer looking in the Bethmore Bible study and reading that peace comes from obedience. And oh my gosh, I had never had peace in my life. And so, obedience became my most fervent prayer. My biggest desire is just to, if I could just hang on to Jesus' leg, if I could just do what Jesus told me to do, then somehow, some way I was going to make it through it. And He's done it. And now, I don't have a perfect life, and I don't have a perfect marriage. I mean, who does? But what I do have is God's power and His love working in my life to do what I can't do. To do this, to do exceedingly, to accomplish infinitely more than I can ask or think. I have a marriage that I didn't know I could have. I had a marriage that I didn't see in my parents. I have a marriage that, even though we have a commuter marriage and we're with each other every other week and sometimes not even that much. And that's been going on for years. I still have this fabulous marriage with a man I can trust who lives 2 states away. That's Jesus. That's not me. Let me tell you, people that knew me 10 years ago will tell you that ain't me. Here's another thing that God did that's more than I could ask or imagine. I grew up, for some reason, I had some insecurity issues. I'm sure you're really surprised by now. And so any guy that paid attention to me, I was happy to pay attention to them. Didn't matter if they had character. It didn't matter if they were nice to me. If they looked my way and showed interest, then I was quite sure that that was about as good as I could do, and I was going to be their girlfriend. So that led into a life of promiscuity that I'm very much not proud of, but it also led to a lot of guilt and shame and several very unpleasant things that happened in those relationships, things that were hurtful and that scarred my mind when it came to enjoying intimacy. And both of my marriages, I have really struggled. I have really struggled being an intimate wife. And that's been really hard. I've never cried harder in my life than when I'm in bed with my husband. And, you know, that's really hard for a person to overcome. And I mean, I just sit there and feel like I am not enough for this. I can't do this, God. And I'm reading all the books and The Power of a Praying Wife, and God bless that woman that wrote The Power of a Praying Wife, because what she taught me was that to pray this prayer: God, give my husband a new wife, and let it be me. So I quit looking at his problems, started saying, okay, fix me, God. Just whatever you can do, whatever you can do. Meanwhile, his grace is enough. I don't know how he kept us together. I don't know how he kept things from happening, but he did. And as I read those prayers in that book, and as I began to live the Word and pray diligently for my marriage and my husband, God showed me that he loved David completely, and he knew exactly what David needed. And he could love David through me, that I am not enough. I have all these fears. I have all these things that make me want to say no. But he can use my body. He can use my mind. He can use my words to love my husband at the kitchen table or in bed, either way. And he's done that. And I want you to know that is more than Jennifer White. God is enough. And all those things that we are worried that are irreparable, that's crap. That's crap from Satan. Nothing is impossible with God. Nothing. Say it out loud. Nothing is impossible with God. So, I want you to turn on the power, turn on the love, and turn on self-discipline. And how are we going to do that? We're going to ask. We're going to say, God, I am not enough. I get it. It's not about me. I don't have what it takes. Say, I'm not enough. It's not about me. I'm not enough. It's not about me. Other two people that we want sitting at the head table, the banquet of our life. And who is that going to be? Humility. Right? And with humility, the truth. So no longer are we going to save a place for fear. And who was sitting with fear? Pride. Out the door. They're not welcome anymore. They don't belong to us because the power of God lives within us to do these things exceedingly abundantly, more than we can ask or imagine. Now at our table we've got humility. I am not enough. That's humility. But the truth is, Jesus is enough, right? We want you to quit chasing that desire, that want, that it's going to be you, that you're going to figure it out. And you know what? We can even be so fooled that we don't even know that that's what we're doing. I think I am just beginning to believe, to understand that that's what I'm doing, so I can tell God that I don't feel like I'm enough. You're going to make it because He's in you.